Hello and welcome to Top Shelf Board Games. I'm Hubba.
I'm Sabrina.
And today we're reviewing Above and Below. So in Above and Below, you're taking a group of adventurers a group of villagers, and you'll be exploring different caverns, collecting different resources over the course of the game, buying different buildings, recruiting more villagers that you can do more actions with.
Going on adventures.
You can go on adventures, and there's an adventure book where you will go and read a certain paragraph based on which dice you roll on your adventure. Be given what you need to do as far as how many lanterns you need to be successful in that adventure, and then you'll choose between the choices. And you'll roll an action dice for each of your adventurers that you sent. If your dice meets the requirements of that particular adventure, you'll get the lanterns associated with it. And if you get enough lanterns, you'll be successful on that adventure. And then you'll receive various rewards for that.
Sometimes I don't think all the rewards are as good, though. So it's not always a good thing.
Yep. And
it just depends on the adventure.
You'll be buying buildings over the course of the game that will give you different resources. They'll give you abilities to re-roll your dice. They might give you
beds to rest your villagers.
Right. Beds are used to move your villagers from your injured area to your exhausted area, from your exhausted area to your ready area. And you can also collect potions, which potions allow you to move somebody from your injured area to your exhausted area without using a bed. You can also collect the little spice barrels, the rum barrels, and those allow you to move somebody from your exhausted area to your ready area without using a bed. And you'll be doing this, buying and building and exploring until the end of 7 rounds, and whoever has the most points wins the game. The artwork alone is awesome. Ryan Laukit, I really like his artwork. I like the style that he does. And
Red Raven's really good company.
Yeah, the artwork's cool. It shines throughout the whole all the pieces in the game. The adventure book looks really good. It's written well. It's got unique and engaging little brief stories.
It's got its own little world. It has its own little creatures that you come upon and you go and fight or meet, or singing spiders or something. You don't know what you're going to run into. So that's cool with the different elements. And there's a lot of stories, so it'll take a while to get through them all.
Yeah, you shouldn't see the same stories very often throughout your plays. I mean, you have to play it a lot to start seeing some of the same ones. Mm-hmm. The adventure book, it's a lighter version of Tales of the Arabian Nights. Tales of the Arabian Nights is it's got a little bit more in-depth, with evolving your character, basically. And, getting the different stats and raising different stats will give you different options when you go on the adventures. Whereas this is, you send your workers, and as long as you get X amount of lanterns, you're either going to pass or fail.
I do like that they added that to it, though. It's not just one of those, like the other games that we've played of his, or Red Raven, but it has an extra storyline. So it adds more to it. So I really liked that you still do, it's not worker placement, but what is it?
No, it's more of an action point-based game where you have to use certain villagers will allow you to do, a build action or a recruit action, or you can just slide your workers over. You can slide 3 of them over to do the labor action 3 times. So it's more of a kind of action point system with villagers that you recruit over the course of the game.
But I did like that they added the storyline with it, or the exploring, which made me like the game more. I think I'd like the game okay, but now that they had the exploring, then I liked it a whole lot more.
Yeah,
it wasn't too much, but it was just right.
The game without the adventuring is okay. You're building buildings and recruiting, other workers and collecting, harvesting different goods. That's okay. I mean, it's not super awesome. For me, it wasn't. The adventure part of the game steps it up, in my opinion. Makes it more... You want to be able to go do more of those adventures because they're fun and they're exciting. You don't know what's going to happen. And it's totally random, what you're going to get as far as rewards go. What did you think of this game, though? Like, did you like it? What didn't you like about it? What did you like about it? How much did you like it?
I'll play it. Like, I'll play it over a lot of other ones. Like, that one's kind of the one I always think of, like, wanting to play, just because I want to go on more adventures. So I'd probably want to play this one more than maybe some of those, the other ones that we play on Red Raven. But I really do like the other ones. But I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I'm kind of in the same boat. Without the adventure book, I could care less about this game, to be honest. It's okay.
There's other ones
the basic
out there.
mechanics of it is fine. It's not bad. It's good, but it's not. It gives me that same feeling I got with Ancient World as far as it's okay playing, but it didn't get me excited. The only thing that really brought the game forward for me was the adventure part of it.
The adventuring makes it shine.
But even with that, I still was not a huge fan of this one. I would rather play City of Iron 2nd Edition
Really?
over this any day, because to me it just feels like there's more going on. There's more choice. Whereas this one is kind of boring as far as your choices in the basic part of the game. You're kind of just doing what you got to do to get a little bit of points and get enough workers so you can go back on those adventures and have fun reading the stories.
I did notice, though, the more we played it, that my strategy was different, and I couldn't, I don't know, I didn't know if it was me or if it was the game, but I couldn't decide. Sometimes I was like, this is okay. And other times I'm like, yeah, I'm doing really awesome, but I think I explored more.
Well,
So I think...
Well, all of the games from Red Ravens that we've played they're really tight. You can't do everything that you want to do.
Right.
And this continues that pattern of you can't do everything you want to do, and it's hard to get some of the stuff. It almost felt in this one it was more difficult to get some of this stuff. And you only got a few items of each different resource, and then the game kind of ended by the time you got enough stuff. Whereas like City of Iron 2nd Edition, you can get tons of different resources. You can get a lot in different resources, and then customizing your decks and everything. And
I just don't know.
there was just a lot more meat to it. Whereas this one is like, I wasn't as big of a fan of it. I don't not like the game, but I think I only like it because of the gimmick of the adventure book. If it didn't have the adventure book, I wouldn't think twice about Above and Below, which is not what I anticipated going into it, because I anticipated really liking this game.
Because you really liked his other games?
Because I like a lot of the other ones a lot.
But I was really shocked about adding the adventure. That's what made it like, oh, that's awesome. Like, that's so cool. Because I had no clue that there was an adventure mode in it. Because before we bought it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh.
I didn't know anything about it.
See,
I just saw people kept posting about it and how cool it looked. And I liked the artwork and so.
Yeah, and I like all that too in the adventure book.
So for me, it was really cool that they added that in, and it was like, oh yeah. And then the more we played it, I liked the adventure modes. But it just seems like sometimes some games were more fun than the other games that we've played.
Are you talking about just this game?
Yeah.
Or are you comparing it to other games?
No, just this game. Like other times we played it was less fun than the other times we played it. So it's like it was a hit and miss for me.
Each time?
Yeah.
And I think the hit and miss came because sometimes when you're playing it, you're able to do 3 or 4 adventures. Whereas other times you might only do a couple.
Cards that I was able to get, I could maximize, because every time I bought a person, I could move him into the active stage. So I was never running out. So I had a lot more actions. That card wasn't out there for me to ever get him, and so I didn't have that much. I think it just depends, because it rotates. I mean, it changes, which is good, but sometimes you really want to get that one that helps maximize.
Now
Options.
I think you can. Yeah, I do. I think you could get into more of the role playing aspect of this game. You could get more into, this character is Jimmy Joe, who, he's with, Jane, and they're going to go explore and they're friends. You could get into more of the role playing aspect of it, and that might bring a lot more of the game to life, maybe.
So, what are your thoughts, since you put me on the spot?
I don't know. it didn't feel like a role-playing game for me, like I thought it was going to be. The adventure book was really cool to listen to the stories and make the choice of I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that one, just to see what happens. But you only got to do that a few times each game because your guys would be exhausted or they'd be injured and you had to wait, 2 or 3 turns before you could really do it again. And so you only got to do that action 3 or 4 times, and that was the funnest part of the whole game, and you hardly got to do it.
I think that's why I liked it more the very first time we played it, because I was able to optimize the most because of that, the certain cards I grabbed was able to maximize my more moves because I could send more people to the caverns.
Yeah.
And so I had
That's true. You were going a lot more to the caverns.
I did. And I was rolling really good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, maybe if you bought more or trained more dudes early on in the later game, you could just do lots of adventures. I don't know.
I think it's just, like I said, I think it's just different how the style is each time, but by the options you can purchase. So, but it still has been really close. I mean, he thought he was kicking my butt one time, and I got 10 points buying one card.
I do like that you can put goods for sale and you can buy those goods from another player.
Yeah, but I don't think it's very good for 2 players.
In a 2-player game, that was non-existent. I don't think we ever bought from each other. Mm-hmm. In a 4-player game, I think you'd see that more often because there'd be more options for different goods out there. So I like that was added in, but for the 2-player game, it was non-existent for us. We never ever did that action. It never came up. There's always something better to do than spend $3 to $10, however much you wanted to charge for, that pair. So I like the game, and I see its appeal, but it was not.
It's a good casual game for relaxing for me.
If you want to get a very light feel of Tales of Arabian Nights, this is a good game to go to. But aside from that, I don't know. I like the game. It's not one I'm gonna go out of my way to play, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's awesome. I don't think it lived up to the hype, in my opinion.
There definitely was a lot of hype.
A lot of people really like it, and I do like it. I just don't think it lived up to all the hype that it was getting.
I just don't think, because we've played so many games, I don't think it's as complex as we want it to be, or as many. Options.
The game does exactly what it's trying to do. It's just the fun part of it, which is the adventure part of it, is very small in relation to doing all the other kind of mundane, boring parts of the game. Because the fun part is the adventuring. That's the cool part of it.
Right.
But you don't get to do that very many times during the course of the game. And so that I don't like. I don't like that you're going back and forth between kind of the mundane, moving people around, doing little actions, and then occasionally doing the fun adventures.
It just depends.
I wanted more of the adventures and doing more of the adventure stuff. Because I like the storybook stuff. I like Tales of Arabian Nights for that.
I did find it annoying that I couldn't send one person to the caverns. Because I really wanted, every time I'm short a person. So, anyways.
The lanterns, I don't think I even like the lantern idea.
What? It makes you either get your choice or not, Well, you just be like, I'm going to choose that.
You choose to do this, and then you roll dice, and hopefully you get enough lanterns. I mean, you can choose an option and then never get it. You can kind of mitigate that by sending... Well, I mean, you can mitigate it by sending more workers, but if you send more workers, you're not going to be able to do very many actions later on.
Yeah, you have to have lanterns, though, because you can't just go get it without working for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes it fun, because you don't know if you're going to get it or not. And if you have a fail, sometimes there's a fail description, too.
Yeah, if you fail, there's...
So I think you have to have the lanterns. So...
I'm really up and down on this one. Apparently, I'm not a hater. I don't like it either. I'm not a hater, but I don't like it. But it's a good game for what it's trying to do, and it's a good, light adventure game. I just wish there was more adventuring.
So, let us know what you think.
Put it in the comments. Do you like the game? Do you not like the game? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it?
And if there's anything that you've done to make it a little better, let us know.
And click subscribe.
Don't forget to watch our how-to as well.
Have a how-to play, and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter.
And Instagram. Bye.
Thanks, bye.